agree.
All right, man. So let's get into some mental realness. I don't know if you're more of a fan of him than I am, but definitely more aware of what's going on. So Logic recently retired, recently dropped an album. So just talking about that whole experience. I think he did a live stream on Twitch. Like how did that all go down?
I actually heard about the stream via the Joe Budden podcast. It was kind of awkward because I was like, I thought it was one of those like sound bites they use from time to time. Because everyone knows like Joe Budden kind of makes fun of Logic from here and there. And it was just like this background vocal or audio of Logic's stream, and you hear him like crying and talking about like how grateful he is of his fans and how depressed he used to be and how much he cared about rapping, and now he's retiring and blah blah blah. I won't say I'm the biggest fan of him. Like I first found out about his music way back in like I want to say like 2011 or 2012. He had a couple mixtapes pretty good. Kind of like had that Mac Miller, like the early Mac Miller vibe, like kind of just like rapidy rap. I'm having fun, like cool frat boy type shit.
Yeah, I like those. Was it Bobby Tarantino?
Yeah, Bobby Tarantino and like
those mixtapes were cool.
Frank Sinatra, Young Sinatra and stuff. And then somewhere over, I think it was like literally when he released the Suicide Hotline song is like when for me personally the music just didn't really resonate anymore. Kind of became super mainstream and like I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me really.
But it's wild how you could have that big of a cult following.
Yeah.
Because his fans, if you're a Logic fan, you are fucking like a hardcore Logic fan. Like you know every word, every song.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's definitely bigger than Russ, like I think in terms of money and everything and just like stardom, but I feel like Russ has a little more respect within hip hop.
Yeah, because I think he just like, because like he doesn't. Okay, this is where like the
he's a more rapper attitude is, like, for sure.
Logic doesn't pretend to be anything he's not. Is that people just don't believe him? Like that's the thing, right? When he says like, "Yeah, I'm half black, half white," people are like, "Are you though?" You know what I mean? Like that's like.
And I'm sure that fucks with him too, because he's like, So I think the biggest thing with him is he's frustrated that he is a good rapper, but he doesn't get the respect he feels like he deserves. And I feel like a lot of it is shit he can't control. Like,
not control.
Yeah, I mean, his appearance.
Like he can't control that he came out looking more like, his white mom than his black dad. He can't
something
control
like that. Like he can only rap about what he knows and his life, and I guess that content just doesn't sound cool enough to people. He's not that same braggadocious dude that like Russ is necessarily, and I'm sure that's hard for him because he puts in a shit ton of work to produce his music and out rap most of these dudes, but then fucking all these quote unquote mumble rappers will come out rapping about some bullshit and like get way more love than he's ever gotten. And even though he has this cult fan base, I don't think it's enough for him. I think he wants like general public love and not just 12-year-old white dudes in Wisconsin who are bumping his shit.
No, dude, I agree with that. So he's retiring, but dude, didn't he like? So what is he gonna keep doing on Twitch though? Because he signed some massive deal with them.
Yeah.
So what is he gonna be fucking streaming?
Based on what I read, he's literally just like streaming like video games and him shooting the shit with people and stuff like that. I guess it's gonna be kind of like a live,
like a reality TV show.
Yeah. I don't know about reality TV show, but probably just him kicking it with his homies and talking about stuff like a kind of like a live podcast in a way. But probably, I think streaming video games. He claims he's a big video game fan. So I think it's just like unrelated stuff that's not music based, and maybe he feels like that's more of him and like would make it easier for him to be himself and a father without trying to like tour and rap. I mean, he can't tour right now anyways, but
ain't nobody tour right now. So you should probably unretire. That was your fucking reason.
Yeah. But maybe he just feels unwanted in the genre, which is really unfortunate. To make that much money and that much of a stamp on the game and then feel like nobody respects you.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with that Yeah, dude, I don't think a lot of people respected him, bro. Like, if I'm being honest, like in hip hop circles and, you know, in conversations, like, not to be like racist, but like, whenever I hear like the person in the room shouting the most, like, yo, Logic is dope, usually a white guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's usually like.
I feel like that they're the ones who, and when we're talking about the white guy, we're talking about like the hip hop head white dude. A lot of them appreciate like just the technical aspect of rapping, like oh, you rap fast, you've rhymed this word, but they're not really paying attention to much else half the time, it seems like.
Yeah, like it's a whole picture. Like, it's like the ensemble, like how it sounds, what you're rapping. Like, I think I've listened to plenty Logic songs that I do enjoy, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like the perception, it's like, dude, I honestly think, bro, like him. And it's not his fault, but him constantly talking about like the black-white thing, like that rubbed a lot of black people the wrong way. Again, I could be wrong, like you tell me, but I think a lot of black people like, bro, like shut up, bro, like you're white,
yeah,
you're white, like it's like. So I think that's like that made people think that he's trying to be something he's not, and then you're already in a black-dominated industry.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think he rubbed people the wrong way. And then it came across as corny to a lot of people.
Well, I feel like I kind of like sympathize with his frustration because when he was coming up, the two of the biggest rappers, J. Cole and Drake, who were still two of the biggest rappers. He's like, how come they're fucking winning so hard and I just happen to look more white and I'm already boxed in as corny? But I think it's much more than that too. His style isn't really like defined.
Style of rap. Like, at least like J. Cole and Drake is very similar. Again, they're both in their own little league, but they're still very similar to what you consider, you know, box, simple, you know, cookie cut hip hop, right? Like, you know what you're getting with them, which Logic is a little bit left field. But yeah, man, to each their own. Kudos to him. You know, I mean, he made a ton of money, bro, and he does have. I mean, dude, if you have one person who loves your fucking album, like the same way with us, if we have like 3 fans who love fucking listen to this podcast every week, be grateful for that. And dude, he made a ton of money and he did take care of his family. So dude, kudos to him.
Sure.
Did you get a chance to listen to the album at all though?
Very briefly, but I knew like I wasn't gonna. I just honestly had no interest. I'll probably go back and listen to it just to see if I prove myself wrong. I know some people are saying this is one of his better projects. But at the same time, it's just, I guess it's hard to really feel the impact of it. And I think that goes back to the criticism of like when you hear his music, sometimes you feel like it's literally just to rap and not to really send some concrete message. And I think that's kind of one of his pitfalls. There's actually this, not to go on a tangent, but this rapper that most people probably wouldn't know about. He goes by Russell now, but originally he went by D Pride. He's this Filipino dude from Canada. So I randomly came across him on YouTube in like 2000, I want to say like 2008 or some shit, a long ass time ago.
12 years ago, yeah. Jesus Christ.
The reason why I came across him is because he was infamous for remixing like every popular song ever and doing his own verse. And he was super talented, and but if you followed his career, which obviously you specifically haven't, you'll notice like every 3 years or whatever, he followed the trend at the time. So he was like Soulja Boy, Big T's, Cap, like Fabulous type raps, and then when like snapbacks and shit became popular, then he was wearing that and doing like Tyga type stuff. And then Drake came out, and then he was doing the singy songy shit, and was, you know, trying to clown people for wanting to be thugs, even though like he was kind of doing that shit before. And then now he's doing the I don't know, everything that like is out. So I think the biggest thing for him is like he was talented, but he was just doing what everyone else was doing, and it just didn't come off as genuine to most people. He has a cult following similar to Logic, like people who've been riding with him forever. But in terms of new listeners, like they just see somebody who is like as cookie cutter as can be.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but that's the way it is.
Dude, that's the industry, bro. Again, you gotta maximize what you can, and I don't know about this dude, but I definitely know Logic has made a shit ton of money. So at the end of the day, dude, if rapping was your career and you made money out of it, I mean, you won. So it is what it is. So as far as staying on the topic of mental realness, Kanye, bro. So Kanye, I mean,